Okay, I think we can start now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Saturday's usual training session. Welcome to the call. On this call, we're going to be covering a subject that is, again, really important. A lot of being successful is what goes on up in here. And it is a challenge. Often, if you're someone that has a sort of a natural successful mindset, to understand that it can be difficult for people to realize, depending on their backgrounds and that kind of thing, that success can be for everyone. And if you look at some of the most successful people in the world, you'll see that they came from extraordinarily poor backgrounds, no advantages at all. And so they had to have the belief in themselves to be able to take themselves to the next level. So let me introduce today's speaker. Declan has been with CFX now for 10 months. He's doing remarkably well. He's a director in the business. He's got a 100K pack, and I think around 5,000 people in his organization. Just to give you a bit sort of a background on him outside of the CFX, he's got quite a strong bio here. So he's a personal development trainer, specializing in people empowerment through collaboration, masterminding, and belief elevation, hence why he's covering this today. After spending 25 years working in the National University Ireland Galway, primarily in the field of neuroanatomy, he quit his job to start his own personal development business. 6 months later, he was in debt to the tune of 2 years' salary. His life was cracked. A 6-month contract with Allied Irish Bank Finance and Leasing developed into a 17-year corporate career that provided a platform to fine-tune his coaching and mentoring skills in an array of different business sectors. His strong sporting background ranges from high-level achievements in solo sports such as table tennis, snooker, to team sports achievements in basketball and football, at soccer, including coaching. He retired from the corporate world at 59 in 2017 to be more present with his wife and 3 children, to follow his passion to live his life and purpose, inspiring others to do the same. So keep out for his book Cracked in 2021. So he's actually writing a book. So I hope I'm in there, Declan. A big section there. That'll do very nicely. All right. Well, without further ado, let me pass you over to Declan.
Great stuff. Thank you, Richard, and thank you for the opportunity for me to speak in front of what I term my friends and partners going forward here now. It's been a fantastic journey, and it's a terrific opportunity again for me to share some of my own journey and hopefully give people a few insights into what I think are some of the core aspects we need to basically take on board to be successful, not just in life, but in not just in business, but in life. So as Richard eloquently put it there, I have a diverse background, primarily in education and in banking, and I've had a strong entrepreneurial flair, I suppose, taken from my mother, which kicked in probably when I was about 35 or so, and I felt my sporting career was kind of coming to an end. I got introduced to the concept of network marketing, and essentially it was a quote I saw on an acetate sheet, I'm giving my age away now, on an overhead projector, quoting Zig Ziglar: "If you help enough people get what they get, you get what you want." And it just rocked me to the core. It just really hit me. So I suppose as Richard said, I spent 25 years in an academic environment, and I needed to study everything and know everything and understand everything. And that in itself set up a lot of limitations for me going forward here. So what I'll do is, this training is going to be a little bit different in the sense that it's going to be around, it's a smorgasbord of information and sharing nuggets that I've gleaned over the past couple of years here. So the focus of the training is going to be around belief, but it's going to be about belief, about your belief, and the beliefs that you currently have and may be open to change. I'm going to just touch on a little bit on the company and our partners that we're partnering with here, some of the boring stuff just initially, because I think it's important, when we're looking at our own beliefs and challenging our beliefs, that we take some time out to do some introspection and reflection and not to be lazy. So without further ado, let's get started here. And again, thank you for taking some time out. Appreciate your taking the time out. So my intention today is to stimulate you, to awake you, to stretch you, to prod the bear in you, and to poke the bull in you. That's my intention here today. Okay. So let's see how that goes. So let's start off first of all with the company, and about belief in the company. And I'm just going to ask you very quickly here, not to be lazy, guys and girls. For those of us that are involved in CashFX, take some time out to, as Richard says, to do your own due diligence and to understand what's in there. Not that you go and spew all over people on this, but just so that you copper fasten your own belief and you understand what's going on here. So take some time out and go into your back office there and read about the guys and see what's going on here. Okay, take a look at what Ron Pope and Jamie have done here with the conversion pros, and again our traders and engineers that are working there very closely with Edwin. One thing I would implore you to do, and again, this is not this is optional, but how many people are involved in CashFX have actually taken some time out to go through some of the the very basic course material here? Not necessarily that you want to become a trader, but at least so you have a basic understanding of it. So when you're talking to people and sharing with people what it is you're doing, that at least you have some understanding and a lot more belief and conviction when you speak to people, because that's where this all starts with, guys. People buy people, and it's in your communication to people and how you convey your belief, your passion, and your purpose. So don't be lazy. Please take a little bit of time and just go through some of the basic stuff there so you have a basic understanding of what it's about. And again, look, I'm going to talk about facts versus stories in a moment here, but just look at the returns there last year, guys and gals. This is crazy, and this is about really solidifying your belief in what we have in the vehicle that we have here. Okay, so I want to just talk about. I love this here. Facts tell, stories sell. So we can get very factual, and I spent a lot of time in my early academic career needing to understand, how everything worked. If there was a juicy apple on the tree, I wanted to know, what nutrients the roots were sucking up here, and it's that's a recipe for disaster, because you just get into paralysis of analysis. So facts tell, stories sell. Okay, especially the stories you tell yourself. So this is where I want to really focus on training today. So let's start off with limiting beliefs. Two of the most powerful words in the English language: I am, because whatever you say after I am tends to show up in your life. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of challenging questions throughout the presentation here. The first one being: are you a creature of your circumstances, or are you a creator of your circumstances? Sorry, just getting a frog in my throat here. Excuse me. So, limiting beliefs. We have to be very careful of what we say, and not just consciously say it, but strike up an awareness and take a little deep dive into what it is that little chatterbox in our head is saying here. So, are you a creature of circumstances, or are you a creator of circumstances? Are you in the blame game, or are you taking responsibility and control for what thoughts you allow into your head? I'd like you to read this slide and really pay particular attention to it here. For anybody who's been on a personal development journey and read the books, gone to the seminars, done the visualizations, the affirmations, the vision boards, etc., etc. This is something I learned that had a huge impact on me, especially around affirmations. And I'm just giving you a reminder here about how powerful affirmations are. And again, whatever you say after I am tends to show up in your life. But how many times do we chant out our affirmations or say our affirmations, and then that little devil on your shoulder, or that little inner voice says, but. So when you have an affirmation that I am earning 50,000 per month on or before the 31st of July 2021, it's great to say that, and to say that with enthusiasm and conviction. But if your conviction and your emotional intensity around that wavers in any way, what you're doing is you're totally negating that affirmation. So please be aware of the little buts that may just kick in after your affirmations there, and nullify those, get rid of them. Here's something that I learned very early on from a mentor of mine, that really needs your full attention. Ask yourself these three questions every day, and even multiple times during the day. I'd even encourage you to set a reminder in the early stages, and ask yourself this in the morning, at lunchtime, in the evening. What is my intention in thinking what I am thinking? What is my intention in feeling what I am feeling? What is my intention in doing what I am doing? Intention is a huge driver. And if we're not aware of the intentions behind our thinking, our feeling, and our doing, we're setting ourselves up for a lot of incongruency here. So when you answer those questions, next question is, and this is the punch in the gut, how are these intentions serving you? I'm going to repeat that. How are these intentions serving you? A lot of our intentions out there, while some of them, may be well intentioned, are not producing the desired results that we want to see show up in our life here. So it's very, very important to examine the intention behind what you're thinking, feeling, and doing. Excuse me. Let me make a very bold statement here. I think that most people will resonate when they really think about this one. The thinking that got you where you are today is not going to take you where you want to go. I'm going to repeat that. The thinking that got you where you are today is not going to get you where you want to go. So you got to change your thinking, guys. If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing day in and day out and expecting things to get different. So we got to take some time out and really think about what it is we're doing, being, and where we're going here. A terrific book I would encourage you to read is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen there. Quick story here about the Golden Buddha. I was in Bangkok a couple of years back there, and we got to see this wonderful statue. And there's a story about I just give the very quick abridged version of it there, where these marauders came into a village, and prior to coming in, a lot of the Buddhist monks that had a golden statue, and when they heard there was a marauding group of pillagers and thieves coming and killers, they covered up the Golden Buddha with clay. Just covered it up. So when they came into the village, they basically just rode past the Buddha, just saw this kind of like a stone Buddha. And of course the villagers were all gone. Many years later, a young Buddhist was meandering back and saw this what looked like a big stone clay Buddha. Sat down to contemplate and rest. Next thing, he got a little glint. What happened was a piece of clay had fallen off, and the sun was reflecting off the gold inside and shone, dazzled him. So he chipped away all the clay off it and exposed this fabulous Golden Buddha. And the story is really an analogy for life here. We're educated, with the best of intentions by our teachers, our parents, etc., in linear fashion, unfortunately, ABC 1, 2, 3. And we're layered and caked with a lot of dirt, dust, crap, and what happens is our brilliance is covered up. So this is where we need to basically do the inner work on ourselves and chip off all that dirt and shine brightly. So the thing is, that's where again the work needs to be done yourself, the inner work, not looking outside, but taking the time to really go in and have a deep dive on what it is that is important to you in life. Looking at your examining your core values, because they change, believe me, as we progress through life. If your core values are not in alignment with your goals, they ain't going to happen for you. So the inner work needs to be done, and you go shine brightly. Quick question for you here around beliefs. Probably most people here have heard of Santa Claus and believed in Santa Claus up to whatever age. Now, what is a belief? Many people say it's just an opinion, but beliefs are very, very strong for us. And think back to when you were a child and you believed in Santa Claus. You were unshakable in the fact that Santa Claus existed. So how did you feel when somebody told you there was no Santa Claus? What did that do to your belief system? What did that do to you in the relationship you had with your parents and your loved ones who deceived you for so many years? Here was a rock solid belief you had that was shattered in literally microseconds when the cat was let out of the bag. So, the point I'm trying to make here is we don't know what we don't know. There's 3 levels of awareness. Yeah, what we know, what we don't know, and what we don't know, we don't know. And that's where there's huge power. There's a gentleman called John O'Donoghue. He's an Irish guy. He's written some fantastic books. One of them was called Anam Cara. But I love this quote of his: "The greatest friend of the soul is the unknown." And this is where I have a huge passion for this particular area, because there's a fantastic book written by Joseph Campbell called The Hero's Journey. And it's where we move from a level of discomfort into an unknown, because we need to grow and expand. It's well worth taking a look at. So can I ask you to take a look at, just answer some of these questions here. And again, it's around your belief, and it's around how powerful you don't really understand you are until you have a little think back at certain moments in life when all of a sudden something you didn't know became unconcealed for you. A power that you didn't realize you had unveiled itself. So how did you feel? How did you feel first when how did you feel when you were riding your bike for the first time without your mum or your dad holding the saddle? You just took off. The training wheels were off and off you went. Can you remember that feeling? Remember the first time you found out how babies were made? All of, you're living life, and all of a sudden, bang, this momentous piece of information comes your way. How about your first kiss? Remember the impact that had on you? But the point I'm trying to make here is that we don't know what we don't know until something monumental happens. And then that feeling, that surge of energy and that surge of power that hits us, that's there for us all the time, so it is. How about a bit of fun here? Your second orgasm, because you didn't know what the first one was. It's, not knowing what you don't know. We don't know what we don't know. But when that enlightenment, when that thing hits you, bang. So what I'd ask you to consider here is life is here to be experienced. People, including myself, got bogged down in trying to figure out what my life purpose was. I spent a lot of money on a coach many, many years ago looking to get clarity around why am I on this planet here. And it took me, it took a bit of deep diving and a bit of self-reflection, a lot of self-reflection, to realize that I wasn't getting an awareness of what my purpose was. And in the end, my coach said to me, look, Declan, he says, if you're struggling that much to really become aware of what your purpose is in life, why not go and create one? And that was a big aha moment for me, because life is here to be experienced. Life is not meant to happen to you. It's to be experienced. So please, I implore you, don't die with your music still in you. I think Wayne Dyer is the gentleman credited with saying that one. We were born with so much uniqueness and so many strengths that unfortunately a lot of people leave behind because they get caked up with shit like the Golden Buddha did. So what I'm going to encourage you to do here, and this is why it's so important in any sphere in life, whether it's you're building your business in CashFX, your own business, your family, whatever it is there. This is something that you need to take responsibility for. And I don't like saying you need to take responsibility for. I'm going to ask you to consider the possibility for yourself, because you get to choose here. Declare your vision with passion and purpose. I mean, really get in behind it, emotionally get in behind it with a high level of desire and intensity here. So let people know. People buy people. I said this at the very start of the call here. People buy people first. When I speak to people with the intention of them looking, the possibility of looking at cash FX, I don't mention cash FX. I don't mention Forex. I tell people what my vision and what my purpose and what my passion is. And very simply, my vision, my purpose, my passion is to empower as many people on the planet as I possibly can. Create opportunities for them to cake off that crap that they've been covered with. And give them vehicles to go and express themselves and to experience life at its fullest. So declare your vision with passion and purpose. Let people hear it. Let them hear the passion. Let them hear it so loud that they don't even hear your words, that they feel it. How do you show up every day? Do you show up full? Or do you show up needy? You're in control of this, guys and gals. Are you confident, enthusiastic, energetic? When you're clear on what your passion and your purpose is, and you jump out of that bed in the morning, bang, life is one heck of a ride then. Little quote down there at the bottom by Mark Twain. You cannot depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. So this is where we need to take time to go, and what I call is back to the future thinking. So extrapolate yourself out there into the future with your goals and your vision. And your dream board, etc., and work it back. What do you call it? Richard did a fantastic training there recently on that. So let's run through a couple of belief builder top tips that I strongly recommend you take on board and implement into your life. Gratitude and appreciation. Two of the biggest. I mean, the biggest tools you can incorporate into your life many times throughout the day. And what I would strongly recommend is before going to bed at night, before you literally nod off, express gratitude for all that is in your life, for all that you are expecting to show up in your life before you go to bed. It's a fantastic trick to play on your subconscious mind. Expressing gratitude for the goals that have already been achieved in your life, for what's manifesting in your life. Express gratitude for them already showing up. And then when you wake up in the morning, first thing, again, gratitude and appreciation for that first breath you've drawn, for the fact that you've woken up, for the fact that it's a new day with new possibilities. Gratitude is an absolutely powerful, it's one of probably the most potent, powerful tools you can use. And obviously appreciation, being thankful for everything that you have in your life, even the things that don't necessarily seem pleasant. There's lessons to be learned there as well. So this is one of my favorite sayings here. Use your rational mind to outwit your rational mind. I spent 25 years in an academic environment, studying a lot in the whole neuroanatomy science side of things. And our mind is really, really powerful, and we can rationalize ourselves into thinking anything. Well, that's a powerful tool we can use as well, but use it to your benefit. So the thing is, unfortunately, we don't use it to our benefit there, because we go into doubt. We go on the slippery downhill spiral of a negative thought being impacting on another negative thought and pulls us down. But we can do it the other way around. Here's a fantastic book I would strongly recommend you read. It's called Outwitting the Devil. It was held back for many years by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And it's probably one of the best books that you will ever read. It's absolutely terrific. But again, use your rational mind to outwit your rational mind. Your self-talk is so important. What you say to yourself. has the power to radically change not just your life, but the lives of everyone you come in touch with. So, next top tip: be more interested in people than interesting to people. Now, this is hugely important here, and it comes down to really cultivating and understanding that you need to listen first to be heard. If you become more interested in people rather than telling people how great and how wonderful you are, it comes back to what I said early on. The industry that we're involved here in network marketing is a relationship business. People buy people first. So become interested in people. When you're talking, you're only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. And it gives you the opportunity to develop and strengthen rapport with people when you can actually hear them, hear what they're being said, hear their concerns. This is a huge tip here. When you listen to people, and even if you're an ultra positive person and you hear a whine or a moan, don't switch off initially, okay? Because behind that complaint, behind that concern, is an opportunity for you to connect with that person and offer them a possibility. So be more interested in people than interesting to people. Very powerful. This is one I love here, and it's one that took me a long time to learn because unfortunately I was a perfectionist. In my first probably 40 years of life, I just had to be perfect at everything. I probably ended up being a jack of all trades and a master of none because I got to the stage where I wanted everything to be perfect. And I've had so many learnings from that. And I very quickly learned, much to the what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me in a minute. Much to the consternation of my own mentors, that progress over perfection. I am continually making mistakes. I'm continually learning, but I'm moving forward and I'm getting better every day. I no longer wait for conditions to be perfect to take action. So progress over perfection. Just go do it. As the saying goes, if you're sitting on the edge, you're taking up too much room. Get out there and fail forward. Progress over perfection. Huge tip. Now, this is something I learned back when I started my personal development journey initially. And I think most people, when they start something new, a lot of the thought process goes around, well, when I have the education, I will do such and such, and I will be successful. When I have the money, I will go and do such and such, and I'll be a very successful entrepreneur. We work it backwards. We're waiting to have the thing before we do it, before we become it. Switch it around. Become the person who will do the thing to have what you want. This is about you being authentic and authentic with yourself. It's not about it. You get to the stage in life. I'm 62 years of age. It's taken me a long time to learn this. But when you get to a stage where you are fully happy with your own integrity and your own authenticity, that's the shining of your light. That's what attracts people to you. Be the light that the butterfly or the moth is attracted to by being yourself. Is everybody going to like you? No, not necessarily. Whose problem is that? Not yours. So be the person who will do the things to have what it is. On the right-hand side here, I love this here. I have to stick this one in. 10 things that require no talent. Being on time. Yeah, okay, it's one I need to work on. Work ethic, I have no problem with that. Effort, no problem with that. Body language. Guys, stick your chest out. Ladies, stick your chest out. Be loud and proud. Let people feel it from you. Your energy, your attitude, your passion. These are all the things you have control over. Cost nothing. Being coachable. This is a huge one, guys and gals. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Absolutely. And something I do in coaching in my business, in team building and mentorship and leadership, is doesn't matter what business you're building, whether it's CFX, whether it's your own company, you need to surround yourself with people who are more experienced than you, who have higher skill sets than you, that bring a different energy, a different je ne sais quoi, as to say. You want to be, you do not want to be the smartest person in the room here. You need to be coachable, and everybody should have a coach. If your coach doesn't have a coach, you've got the wrong coach. So doing extra, going over and beyond what is required of you here. And I see this in this community so much. So many people, servant-driven leaders, men and women, going over and beyond the call of duty. It costs nothing. And being prepared. If you don't plan, if you don't prepare to, I forget what way the saying goes there. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, basically. So, stay close to the fire. If you don't stay close to the fire, the bears will get you, as they say. We have an absolutely fantastic community here, and when it comes to building belief, if you're struggling to get your own belief up on it, latch on to the belief of other people that are achieving fantastic success and getting the results that maybe you have down on your list of goals, your dream board here. So the support, the mentorship, the live calls, the training, attend these, get on them. So invite your guests, invite your team on them, but show up yourself. If you got to show up, guys, you got to show up, gals. If you don't show up, you cannot build a team if you're not part of a team. You need to be in a team to build a team. And we have all these fantastic tools here to help us, not just build our belief, but build our teams and build our businesses and build ourselves. So here's a little gift for you as I start to wrap up here now. It's around to it. So how often have you heard people say, yeah, I'll get around to it sometime? Yeah, time is not right now. I get around to that. Well, here's your round to it. Take a screenshot of that there. Now you've no more excuses. You have your round to it. Okay? When is now a good time? Great friend of mine says that to me nearly every time we have a conversation. When is now a good time? So this is a very powerful slide here, because we get what we're committed to, not what we want in life. And I want to repeat that. We get what we're committed to, not what we want. So are you committed to your highest vision of your life, or are you just satisfied to dream? Are you committed to your highest vision for your life, or are you just satisfied to dream? Okay, I'm going to leave you with this here. This is a very, very powerful question to ask yourself. If you ever feel overwhelmed, if you ever feel stuck, if you're ever unsure of what to do next, ask yourself this one question. What would the person I intend to become do next? Picture yourself, back to the future thinking here. Picture yourself 2 years ahead, 5 years ahead, and you're trying to figure out in your head what to do next. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and go back to the future. What would that successful person do next? Very, very powerful tip and a very, very powerful tool. So, welcome to 2021, the beginning of anything you want. Now, almost finished here. What I'm going to ask you to do here, a little PS at the end here. I dare you, take a selfie with a big, awesome smile and post it on Facebook or whatever social media platform you use. Just with the comment, I am so grateful. That's all. Big smile, post it on social media, and I'm just underneath it say, I am so grateful. And just watch what the universe throws up for you. Seriously. I encourage you to do that. So that's it, ladies and gents. Hope you got some value from that there, and I hope it prodded the bear and poked the bull in you.
Thanks very much, Declan. Very, very good training there. I was making notes as you were going through. There's some really key things there. One thing I always recommend is that, you know, this is not something that you can just switch like that. It's something you have to work on. It's something that it takes time. And it doesn't matter where you are, actually, you know, you continue to do that journey. You know, I'm sure, Declan, you're constantly reading books and positive stuff. And one of the things a couple of things that I recommend. Now, this is just my own personal opinion. Of course, you can completely disagree with me on this and go and do your own thing. But one of the things I don't do is read newspapers. Okay, I actually believe that the news and a lot of social media is what causes a lot of the negativity we have in the world, because it's pretty well all bad news, isn't it? There's no, very rarely is there anything positive to be seen from reading a newspaper. In fact, if I ever pick up a newspaper and read it, I usually regret it shortly afterwards, because, you know, it's always about negative things. So try and, instead of reading newspapers and things like that, focus on positive books. For example, Declan was talking about be interested in people. There's a great book you can read called How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And it's such a powerful thing when you're actually talking to someone. If you are genuinely interested in them, then you'll find that they will actually like you better, because remember, you're talking about their favorite subject, which is them. It's a really a good thing to have that kind of mindset. I personally actually don't like talking about myself. You know, people ask me about me. I don't know why, but I always feel a bit sort of embarrassed talking about myself. I love talking about other people and what they're. So try and have that kind of mindset. So surround yourself with successful, positive people, which is another thing. It's very easy to have people around you that are not, you know, positive influences in your life. Try and avoid people like that. Try and focus. And that's one of the things that, as Declan said, with regard to our business here, is the fact that we're in a business that is full of positive people, people that are striving forward, people trying to improve themselves, that kind of thing. I mean, this is one of the things I love about this industry, is the fact that it's a business of lifting people up. The more people you lift up to help them get what they want, the more that you'll get yourself, which is a fantastic thing. It's so very different from a lot of what's out there in the world. And you know, and be excited about what you can achieve. Be excited about the business that you're in. You know, it's if you can't sleep at night because you're so excited about your business, that's a very good place to be. I often find myself waking up early in the morning and I start thinking about the day and what I'm going to be doing, and I become very excited about that. And you know, what we're going to be doing, like for example today's call, we've got a big call tomorrow for the team in Norway. And so, you know, these are all really positive things. So you want to focus on those. So just take it a step at a time. You know, this is not, as I said, something you can switch on at a flick of a switch. It's something you have to work on, but it is amazing what it will achieve. As you become more positive, as you understand that you can achieve these things, one of the features I always talk about in CFX is that it is actually a great level. It doesn't matter who you are. If you look at the leaders in CFX, again, across the board, people from all walks of life. As you know, we've got Joe Jar in the business, who's a billionaire. Again, look at where he came from, incredibly poor background. So he's someone that if you ever talk to Joe Jar, incredible positive attitude. He's like a sort of a bright shining light when you're talking to him. It's again, that all helps him to become successful. So this is such an important thing to have. So don't take it lightly. This is something that, again, a lot of people don't really think about. And also gratitude and appreciation is another really good one there. Step back and think about what you've got, your family, your friends, you know, be grateful and appreciate that. Because again, I think we live in, again, the social media, I blame a lot of this is the fact that people feel very dissatisfied with what they've got. They always think that other people are better off. They're not. You know, you can be having a wonderful life and not know it. So step back and think about that. Really, really good call, Declan. I really appreciate you coming on the call, and I hope you guys took a lot from it. and looking forward to the weekend and another great week next week. So thanks very much for coming on the call, and we'll speak soon. Take care. Bye.